Hello, and welcome to the Etch Play Weekly live show. It's episode 100, which is why we have a whole host of people from the Etch Play team here waving at you, apart from Pete, who's in the bottom right corner, who would be waving if he wasn't just a static image. We promised on Twitter that he would be here. He's here, you can't say otherwise. Don't at us. Everyone that we said would be here is here. How's everyone doing? We've made it to show 100. Who would have thought it?
Woo! Happy 100.
Unbelievable.
100. I'm going to make a little sign for 100.
I forgot.
I'm glad you came so prepared, Mehdi, that we are 1 minute into the show and you decided to make a sign that you could have made for 99 episodes. But yeah, here we are. We've been doing this show for not 100 weeks, longer than 100 weeks. We've had a couple of weeks off here and there, but we've hit episode 100. Who would have thought it? Maybe 2 years ago when we started the show, but we've had lots of highlights. This isn't going to be a highlight show. We're not that self-indulgent, and that was a lot of work to pull out stuff together. So just think back in your own collective memories of all the good times you've had watching the show. And yeah, today we've got Benji, Dan, Mehdi, Tyre, Adam. I think everyone has been on the show at some point.
I was, and then you cut me off.
Mehdi was for about 30 seconds before I cut him off accidentally, but here
He's
he
not
is.
bitter about it, then.
He's not bitter. He's let it go.
Nah, not at all.
It's
It's a little bit sour.
But yeah, we've been looking at loads of games throughout the 100 shows. We've had lots of discussions about the news that's been going on in the industry, marketing tips, things affecting the industry. It's been good. It's been fun. But today we're going to do something a little bit different for our 100th show. We're going to mix it up a little bit. So sticking with the 100 theme, we thought we're going to talk about games that we've put 100 hours or more into, games that have really captured our imagination over the years. I think it's safe to say we've got a wide variety, as you might expect from the people on the team. So we're going to be talking about that. Got lots to talk about. Does anyone want to say anything else about the show and how great it is and how great we are before we get into the conversation?
I think it's a pleasure to be here, and well done to everybody that's managed to get to 100 episodes. I'm sure it looks like it's a highly professional, well-oiled machine for the viewers at home, but we do have day jobs, and sometimes it can be a bit frantic to pull these together. So well done to all of you for making it happen, and thanks to anybody who's stuck with us for 100 episodes or one episode.
Yes, thank you to the audience. You are greatly appreciated. That's why we do it. We do it for you guys.
Damn.
But yeah. So who wants to kick off? Who wants to talk about their game first?
I think you should go first, Ben. It's your show.
I should go first. Okay, let's get the best out first. So yeah, I had to think long and hard about a game that I've put 100 hours into. I was going to lean towards something on the Nintendo 64, but there was very little way of proving that, and the games were not really that big back in the day. So it would have been a lot of multiplayer, and even I don't have that many friends to play 100 hours of multiplayer with. But my game is Football Manager 2013, specifically 2013. That's the one I played the most of. Over my storied gaming career, I played a lot of Football Manager. I started with Championship Manager 4, I played Football Manager 2010, played that for a few years, and that's why the next one was 2013, and I really hit my straps in 2013. I was at uni, so I had to fill my time with something. I used to work in a golf shop at the time as well, and not a lot happened there, so I had to fill my time there as well. So
With
They
a real
let you
sport.
play Football Manager while you were working.
yeah, I mean, don't tell them, but that's what I do now. the 200th show is going to be Football Manager 2022 after I complete that. But yeah, I love the game. I think Football Manager is one of those games where you're either into it and you get it, or you don't get it at all, because it's a lot of clicking. You don't do a lot except click through windows and drag
It's
things
spreadsheets.
around. It basically is spreadsheets, yeah. So
What? No one
yeah,
told me
that-
this.
Now we get it. Now we know why Ben's
I
into
am
it.
suddenly interested.
so basically what Football Manager is, right? So you know what football is, right?
What's
So Football Manager, you pick a team, and you can pick pretty much any team you want, and you just instantly become the manager. You get given a budget, you get given your squad, and basically you have to keep that team going and be successful. You have a board that sets you objectives. They could be financial, they could be success-wise on the pitch, and basically you're in charge of the team, and you can't lose the game. You can get fired, You can absolutely get fired from
That's
your team.
definitely losing.
But then you just re-enter the job market, you pick up a team lower down, or if you're really lucky, a higher team because the team that sacked you didn't know what they were missing, and you just carry on and you play forever until the next game comes out the following year. So, I put over 100 hours into it. Lots of fun. Is there any other Football Manager players on the stream today? Does anyone else played it? See Gam's hand going up.
I played when it was called Championship Manager on the Amiga.
Yeah.
I like say Championship Manager 4 was my first. I loved that. That was probably my favourite. I just played more on 2013.
I'm just seeing the footage, the B-roll that you've got. When I used to play Championship Manager, you just basically had a little ball on a bar that told you which half it was in. You didn't actually get to watch any football.
Text only, wasn't it?
That's why I was asking if there was any other players, because the B-roll is showing it more high fidelity. I don't like it like that. When I play, I swap to the traditional view, which isn't quite just the balls in a half, but it's the 2D pitch, and you have the circles that are players that are running around, and it will only come up like every once in a while during the game. You don't watch the whole game. It'll skip through it quite quick with the commentary at the bottom, and then it'll be like, something's going to happen now. So here's the pitch and you can watch it. So I prefer that rather than the high fidelity. Gam, if you played some of the more recent ones, are you the same? Do you like the 3D pitch or the 2D pitch? What you on?
I haven't played it in a while, but the last one I played was kind of one of the first ones in the 3D pitch, and I must admit I didn't really like it as much. Preferred the 2D top-down with like the badges instead.
I assume it's translated quite well to mobile. I can only imagine there's mobile versions of it.
Yeah, it does. So you can get Football Manager Touch as well, which I never really played an awful lot of that. I was kind of always on the desktop. So, but yeah, that's it really. You can see look all these stats and things. I remember when I played Championship Manager 4, I used to do a lot of saves with my brother. We'd play it together and we'd be like co-managing a team and making the decisions and arguing a lot. And when you put your name in, like we would put it in as like Ben and Jonathan. Or actually, it would be Jonathan and Ben because he was older than me, so naturally he got the first name and I was the surname. And like when you get emails and like it was this said in the press conference, and it would say the last name, so it'd be like Jonathan said blah blah blah, and then the next thing was like and Ben said this, like oh this works perfectly. It's gamed the system. So that was my game. I love Football Manager. Having talked about it now, I haven't played it actually for a lot of years, and I'm seriously considering picking it back up. So
Well, I've got a fun fact about Football Manager is my brother-in-law is in it as a football scout.
Oh.
That's what he does for a job.
Wow,
He gets a
that is
copy
cool.
early.
that is very cool.
Can you
Does
get
he-
your
Who's he a
Ben?
scout for?
That's private information that I don't want to give out in the public
The
still.
the fact is unraveling because Ty doesn't know.
Does he?
No, I do know.
Does he?
Private.
Is he happy with his ratings for scouting?
I think so. I think he just got the new version from this year, so I don't know how he is on that one, but
Hopefully it's gone up and not down.
can you imagine?
It's always funny when you see players kicking off about their FIFA rankings or their Football Manager rankings. Bit of a wake-up call. But yeah, that's mine. Football Manager 2013. Great game. Shall we go to Medi? Do you want to go next with those?
I think we should. His fans are waiting.
Don't know. Yeah, let's do it. Come on. I'm ready.
So
Getting
tell us
nerves
about
for
the
the
game
nerves.
that you put 100 hours into.
So if you take a look at the background, I'm sure a lot of people that play games will know this is called Skyrim. Skyrim is a game that I'm sure we've all played here. Put your hands up if you have played it. Let me see any hands. Oh, look at that. I've probably sunk in maybe like 235 hours into that. And let's say no regrets. That's maybe how many days? 10 days. But yeah, like I said, no regrets. Skyrim was released on the 11th of November 2011, so ages ago, nearly 10 years ago. But they seem to just keep porting it to the new systems. They keep porting. They made VR. They made it for Switch. They ported it over to Switch. I had it on PlayStation 3, and I had the fat PlayStation. You know, the 60 gig model, the one that used to be able to play like PS2 games and stuff. And what happened was the PlayStation 3 couldn't run the game anymore for some reason. So then I moved on to PlayStation 4, and then I bought it for PlayStation 4, which had mods, which was even cooler because you see like crazy mods, people playing with crazy mods online. So yeah, I had to get that version, bang that out. It was amazing. I feel like, I don't know, my favourite quest line maybe in the game wasn't the main one. It was the Dark Brotherhood. Have you guys played that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite quiet. You guys all right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, we are.
Sounds like Kaya has.
Damn,
We're like,
sounds yeah.
we're enraptured by your description of Skyrim, Many. So keep going. Tell us about the Dark Brotherhood. Like, what happens in that? Is that where you have to murder people to get invited?
Pretty much. To be honest, there's no like nice way of saying it, right? But you kind of get initiated into the group, similar to like the Thieves Guild and stuff. You get initiated, they take you in, and then you kind of get trained up to be an assassin, and then you kind of go around and be an assassin. And being an Assassin's Creed fan, I was like, look, Skyrim plus Assassin's Creed. I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. So I think.
What's your most hilarious mod that you played with?
Have you tried the Thomas the Tank Engine instead of dragons? Because that's probably the best one.
No, but I need to see this. What the hell? I think there was one where like you could just like fire chickens out of your hands and that.
I seem to remember
loads of them.
Was there a Skyrim mod where it put like monocles on all of the crabs? Was that a thing? I think that was a Skyrim thing. Gentleman crabs or something.
I think yeah, that's it. Gentleman crabs. I think it was. There's another one, cheese wheels, where you can just fire cheese wheels out every time you shout and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, it takes me back to the PS3 days. I can't believe PS3 is like how many years old now? I'm on PS5 now, so it's like over 14 years. I'm starting to feel a bit crusty now. I'm not gonna lie.
Catching up.
Dan's up there thinking, yeah, Nintendo 64, but
Because I like how the age difference between us, where like Dan's referencing games that people have never heard of, and then it's like, man, PS3, what a retro console that is. And the rest of us are like, oh man, that's retro.
Yeah, like I said, that's the game that I put 235 hours in, maybe even more, to be honest. But yeah, no regrets. I can't wait till they release a new one. Let's hope they stop doing what Grand Theft Auto are doing or Rockstar's doing, and just not releasing a new game for however long. I know there's something in the mix, but we'll see.
I think it's in production.
Good things come to those who wait.
Is it going to come out for PlayStation after the acquisition and all that? Who knows? But tempted to just buy it on PC. Tempted to just buy it on PC if it just comes out, and then just upgrade my PC stupid amounts.
Are you still playing Skyrim, or like is it a game you put a lot of time into and don't play it so much anymore?
I put a lot of time into it. It's one of those games that I played loads and I can't stop playing it, and then I stop, and then I can't, and then I'm like, I'm Skyrim'd out, and then I come back to it. I'm like, oh my god, this is a whole new world. Oh, this is so sick. And then I'll complete a new character, and keep going through it. But someone said in the chat about GTA 6 got leaked. Oh yeah,
yes.
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, we did. We did a show about it a couple of weeks ago. You should check it out on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, there's a whole episode of the show which is basically
dedicated
all
to
about
leaks.
I was probably on that show, and I was like, I thought it was fake.
You naturally do, because like nowadays you can't even tell anymore. But I see Gan was saying about Skyrim VR looks amazing, and to be honest, I really want to get into VR, and I'm waiting for PlayStation VR 2. Once that kind of hits the ground, then I'm gonna get more into it, because I don't really get the older models, and then just kind of be outdated quite quickly.
You were a PSVR player, weren't you, Dan? You got a PSVR, didn't you?
Yes, got the original PSVR. They did Skyrim and Doom around the same time. I haven't played them, but yeah, definitely they were well rated. So maybe it's something we should check out.
Yeah, that can be the next Etch play. Checks out.
Oh my god, please make Dan play VR for the show.
Do it.
Who wants to go next, or do you want me to just throw the hot potato?
I think you should let Medi pick.
Yeah, Medi, you pick.
Oh.
Don't take
In a timely fashion.
I'm trying to see.
Nobody likes dead air. Come on.
Who's trying to look away and not make eye contact? Gab.
How would you know?
Just looking right at you then. Unbelievable. So my game that I've gone for is No Man's Sky. Do I really have to do an explainer for what this game is?
Yes. People might not know.
Okay. So No Man's Sky is a space exploration survival game. And what was unique about it at the time when it came out is that it's set in a procedurally generated galaxy. So they're almost infinite planets that you can explore and build a base on and mine resources on. And since then, well, since 2016,
16, yeah.
So much more has been added to the game. Like now you can run your own settlement. Like I mentioned, you can build your own base. You can run your own series of frigates,
some French fries.
Frigates. I could really go for some French fries right now. Yeah, freighters, frigates, a fleet of them. There you go, all the F words. So yeah, I've got probably a few hundred across Xbox and PC playing this game. I'm quite a chill gamer with it as well. I don't really follow the the mission side of it. I basically just try and build bases in weird ways, and I just find it really chill and relaxing.
Nice.
What kind of bases do you build?
Well, so at the moment there's so I found a planet that has these weird like rock formations coming out of the ground. They're like giant cylinders coming out of the ground everywhere, but some of them are like hollow. They're like hula hoop shapes. So I'm building the base in the middle of that, and trying to use the shape in interesting ways.
Very cool.
That's very designer of you.
What have you named Hula Hoop Planet?
I haven't named it yet. So
Hula.
yeah, it's up for debate. Maybe we should do like a poll or something.
Yeah, suggestions in the chat for what
hit us
things
up.
you should call the Hula Hoop Planet.
And it
Hula
can't be.
It
Centauri.
can't be Hula McHoop base.
Love it.
Nice. Have you come up with any good Discovery names, or are you just not naming anything? You're just discovering things and being like,
Or are you just extremely boring?
Do you know what? I very rarely actually name the things that I discover. I've come across a few choice names that other people have named through my travels, but I don't tend to name things. Don't know if I'm unique in that, or whether like who here has played it and named things.
Try and pass the buck there.
The answer to the original question was you're just boring.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Ben. There's been how many updates?
21, I think.
21 updates.
21, yeah.
Is there so? I'm not. What were all 21? No. Was there any significant leaps forward from that you've noticed? Obviously, it's the sort of game that draws us back in when they do a significant release. Anything that particularly stood out for you?
I think the Foundations update was the one where they brought in the base building. That was huge for me, in drawing me back into the game.
That was number one, wasn't it? I think Foundation was the first major update, if I remember rightly.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the settlements is really good as well. I really enjoyed the settlements. And I think actually the one they've done, the one they've released most recently, for Nintendo Switch, the Waypoint update. There's lots of quality of life improvements there. Even Tyre, the other day, you were saying that you're going to get back into it, and the game that you're coming back to now from when you first played it is going to be so different.
Yeah, I started it last weekend because after working on it all week, I was just like, do you know what? I just really want to play it now. And yeah, it's very, very different because I actually logged in and I found my save from 2016 when it first came out. And I was like, I literally can't remember. All I remember is just flying around the planet. And now it's like, there's just so much to do. In a way, it's almost overwhelming, but I bet people have been playing it for a while, love it, like all the really cool stuff you can do.
Nice. Tyre, did you just go get something quite exciting? Is that why your camera?
Yes.
appeared?
Sorry I broke the stream, but it was for a good cause.
What have you got?
I got a very special package for which I do not have any scissors. Which is
Oh no, is it in
Oh no.
Well, maybe we'll come back for the live unboxing.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Dan, what are you going next? While Tyre's sorting that out.
Yes, so mine, I had to check because I didn't have the solid numbers on Steam, but this is a game that I played on the 360, I've replayed on the Xbox One, and I've replayed on PC as well. And I did ask if I could just go for the whole series, but Adam said it wasn't allowed, so I did check, and specifically Batman Arkham City is my submission to the 100-hour club. And I looked it up on how long to complete, and it said 25 hours for the full story. But I've done it at least 3 times, and then I also saw that there's one of the side missions, which is like the Riddler trophies, and I saw there's 430 Riddler trophies, and I've 100%ed that at least once, and I definitely played it slower than most. And yeah, so the Batman Arkham series of games are just some of my absolute favourites. Arkham City probably edges out as my absolute favourite. It was the sequel to Arkham Asylum. And yeah, what's some interesting trivia you may be excited to hear. It was co-written by Paul Dini, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who was a DC Comics writer, the co-creator of Harley Quinn, and also he wrote some of the original He-Man series, which is a cartoon from the olden days for those of you that don't know.
I was watching Medi Entire to see if there was any flicker of life when you said that, and there wasn't much.
You mean that meme, right? The meme with the guy. Yeah.
So it's very authentic in terms of like it's got that comic book feel, and it's like inspired by one of the comic book series, and it's also stars Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker throughout the series. And Mark Hamill's Joker, he's so good. People often kind of rank and rate their Jokers, and Mark Hamill's Joker, and he did it for the cartoon series as well. He's just absolutely brilliant. And if you've not played the games or even watched the cartoons, so just to experience Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker as the Joker, he just absolutely knocks it out of the park. And yeah, it's a great game. One of the sort of I'd consider one of the kind of pioneering series of open world. It's just got such a good execution of a lot of the mechanics we've got used to these days. So you've got the open world map and collectibles, and you've got gadgets or perks. You've got a really interesting skill tree. It popularized like detective mode, kind of like where you can find things in the environment through like an alternate filter. And what was really cool was the free flow combat system. So it just really lined up some really cool combos with really nicely animated. It felt really well executed. It wasn't like super clunky or delayed. And yeah, basically that was it. I've got many fond memories, and this discussion that we've had recently, I'm definitely going to be putting that up and going for a 4th playthrough soon.
I'm with you. I loved those games. Like when I was younger, like around that Xbox 360 time, like I was playing a fair few games, but there was never really that many I was like eagerly waiting for. Like I had to get it as soon as it came out. But having played Arkham Asylum, like waiting for Arkham City, like I just couldn't wait for it to come out, and got it as soon as it came out. And there's not many games kind of in that time period that were coming out that I was like that about, but that Arkham franchise is just incredible. Like I didn't play the one in the middle, but I played Arkham Asylum loads, Arkham City loads, Arkham Origin loads, and then there's one in the middle which we talked about the other day that was
Arkham Knight was the latest one. Yeah.
Haven't played a lot of that, but yeah, just such great games. Like just the way you can move around as well is just felt like when you first was able to do it, it's like this feels so different to anything that I've done before.
A real standout thing of it, there's actually no loading screens other than when you die. So you've got this massive open world map, and which it's fairly common now, but at the time you're kind of quite used to cutscenes and loading and things like that. But yeah, you could fly across the entire map with no loading. That was a nice, really good progression for it.
Nice. That was cool. Any other Arkham players here, or is it just me and Dan carrying the Batman flag?
I mean, I've got a bit of a opinion that's probably going to make you all mad, but I'm not really that interested in DC.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
P45 for Medi then.
It's a shame that didn't come up in the interview. That's going on the interview question list moving
No, my
forward.
wife gets annoyed about it because even like with Marvel, I'm just like, because I haven't like ever kept up with it or anything. I kind of just like, I don't understand any of it, and then they all kind of link in together. So yeah, I'm just.
I would say. I mean, I'm not like a huge comic book fan. I do enjoy that kind of content, but I think the Arkham games do stand up as a standalone and a good introduction to a lot of characters as well, because you do get lots of different characters from the series. Kind of get little sort of side missions and things that pop in. So you shouldn't judge it if you've not played it, Medi.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I need some time to play it, Dan. That's all right.
That's what weekends are for.
Yeah. Cool. Tyra, are you ready with your special package now, or do we need to go somewhere else?
The Lego pieces.
I am ready with my special packet. I am being slightly attacked by a dog, so it may turn into chaos, but I have with me a very special box, which I will be opening very carefully.
There's just a brick in there, right? Stop it.
And it's finally here, my Steam Deck!
Yay, can't even tell what it is.
Bloody huge! Look how big it is! I thought it was the same size as a
Switch.
What do you call it? A Switch. It is not the same size as a Switch.
Yeah, it looks a lot bigger.
Yes. I'm gonna open it out of its plastic coverage. No, don't eat that. Don't eat that.
It's just a desktop PC with handles. That's all
I mean,
For anybody that's not aware, what is a Steam Deck, Tyre?
A Steam Deck is Steam's handheld console version. So it's kind of like what PSP was to, I guess, PlayStation a while ago, and Nintendo Switch. It has a very weird thing which I don't know how to open, so that might stop the display very soon.
Best unboxing.
I gotta
ever.
say, like, I don't think we're gonna diversify into unboxing on the
Steam Deck
Xbox.
is literally a Nintendo Switch. That's on steroids. It's been to the
And you
gym
can play
for a couple of years.
most of your Steam games on it, but I think they're trying to basically convert their entire library on Steam into playable games. Sadly, none of my MMOs are playable at the moment.
Oh, really?
Also,
None of them?
No, not the ones I play. Final Fantasy, ESO. I literally don't know how to open this lock.
What are you most excited to play on the Steam Deck? What are you going to play first?
I don't know, because I'm playing. I want to see if No Man's Sky is one of the games that you can play on it.
It's consistently scored highly as one of the best Steam Deck games.
Has it, as well as Switch?
And Nintendo Switch.
And Nintendo
Yes.
Switch.
Thank you very much.
Nintendo Switch.
For Nintendo Live.
I really don't understand how you open this. I've got the weird lock system in place, so I'm gonna keep trying to break this open. Do you want to go to Adam and then come back to me?
Yeah, let's go to Adam. This unboxing did not go anywhere.
Oh, I did it. Sorry.
Too late. You've missed your slot. Would you like to carry on, Sarah? Would you like to talk about it?
Yes. Oh my goodness, that is actually quite large. Look at the size of it.
And there we are on
Yeah.
the screen.
There we are.
There you are, all your pretty faces. I honestly did not expect it to be this big, but I'm glad, because you need a big screen to like enjoy quite a lot of games on Steam. And it's very light, like very light. I would say it's probably not that much heavier than the Switch, which is surprising.
There's 3 models, isn't there?
Yeah, it's got some fancy buttons on the back. It's got some nice. Actually, it has a lot of buttons on the back, so I guess you could do quite a lot with it. Obviously, I've just opened it, so I don't know how it plays, but maybe next week in our show, I'll report
Little
back.
review. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Come back same time next week.
very pretty. Oh,
And
this is
it's
going to be
the,
my screen from now on when I'm working.
You went for the medium hard drive option, didn't you?
Yes, I went for the medium hard drive option, just because it felt like the right move. And fiddling around with memory cards is not really something I want to be doing too much of my time. I cannot believe how big it is. Please don't take that out of context.
Why?
Yeah, very selfless of you, mate.
Yeah, you should definitely get one for your work. So there you go. Should I talk about my game now?
You can talk about your game now if you would like to, Taya, and save
Well,
Adam for last.
Sadly, my game is not playable on the Steam Deck, and that is Final Fantasy XIV. So, for those of you who... Sorry, I've got a dog trying to climb up on my chest. For those of you who are not aware, it is a massively multiplayer online RPG. So kind of on the lines of things like World of Warcraft and Guild Wars and Elder Scrolls Online, but very much kind of steeped in that fantasy, Final Fantasy lore that people really enjoy. It's actually the first Final Fantasy game I've ever played because I never had consoles as I was growing up, so I never got to play kind of all the cool stuff that was coming out. And it's really, really good. I've got about 400 hours in it so far, and as an MMO I'll probably have 400 more. But it's so good. I started playing it I think last summer, and I played it for a little bit and I was like, oh, it's a great game, but other games came out, and then I came back to it Christmas of this year, and I think everyone on this call will remember that I played pretty much the whole game story from beginning to the latest expansion in about like 2 or 3 months. I think like every week I was like, yeah, I've beat the next expansion, I'm going to the next one. And yeah, it's just really, really fun. The story is unbelievable. It completely pushed this game into probably my favorite game of all time. It is, you can play it solo, to be honest. I didn't really play with anyone, apart from the bits where you have to for story reasons. But it's not for everyone, because it's very much, if you're familiar with online multiplayer games, there's a rotation. So you have to kind of know your class, know which buttons to press, and it can be quite tricky for new players. But it really has seen a lot of players in the recent days, especially coming from things like World of Warcraft, where people haven't been very happy with the latest expansion. And people just love it, and I understand why. It's got the story, it's got the gameplay. You have you can buy houses, which I can't because I can't afford it. But you can buy a house, you can decorate it, you can go and fish, you can cook, you can do all sorts of things. One of the things that really I like about this game is that you don't need any more than one character, because your one character can level up every single class. So you never have to switch, and that character like just collects all these points and can do lots of really cool stuff. So yeah, and you get a pet chocobo that fights alongside you, which you can put hats on. So that's game of the year.
Now you said hats, I'm sold.
Hats on your chocobo, honestly.
So we can conclude you like Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes, I love it. Surprisingly, it's not the MMO that I've got the most hours on, but there's too many of those to talk about.
Did you play it at launch? Did you say, or
No,
you were late to the party?
Really late.
Did it have a bumpy launch? Do I recall?
Yes. So when it launched, people weren't too keen, and they actually did something which is quite interesting from a business perspective. Is they completely twilighted the original servers, but they worked that into the lore, so that when they re-release the game, they basically said like, oh hey, your character was in this thing ages ago, but now your character's lost their memory and all these different things have happened. So it was part of the story that world was now over, which I thought was quite interesting, a very interesting way of doing it. And that version of it was much, much preferred by people. And to be honest, the kind of base game story is still pretty good, but it's really the expansions where it shines. People say Heaven's Ward, which is the first expansion, is one of the best like MMO expansions ever. And the more recent one, Endwalker, which came out this year, is also very good. Yeah, Endwalker is going to be quite interesting because it was the end of the kind of core story that went on for 5 or 6 expansions, and they're starting from scratch now that you kind of finished that arc, which isn't something that happens in MMOs very often. Usually just kind of the stakes get higher and higher and higher, and you go to outer space, and then you go to a different realm. I'm looking at World of Warcraft there. So yeah, lots of exciting things. And they also introduced a new mode. Sorry, I will stop talking in a minute. Which is basically like Stardew Valley, but in Final Fantasy 14. So you can grow your own farm and your own animals. And it's very cool.
Nice.
Very cool indeed, Tyre.
Thank you. It's lovely, as Adam would say.
Yeah.
Is that what I would say? I'm
No,
not sure
that's
what I would say.
You would say, I would say.
Nice. Well, we are going to go to Adam in a minute. Adam has promised, 100 points to anyone who guessed his game. I've seen no correct answers so far.
Yeah, no one's been able to guess what I'm going to talk about.
But yeah, before we do that, oh no, I did it. I ruined it.
Oh no!
Oh no! Nobody saw anything. But before we do that, because I have another surprise for the show, which is going drastically wrong, so I'm trying to do it very quickly. So as it's our 100th show, I got a little treat for us, but although I'm 250 miles away, so it's a treat for myself. Is I got us a nice Mario cake, and these candles are so terrible that I lit them while Tyre was talking, and they just
they've burned down to nothing.
Out and ruined
Tyre
the
talked
cake.
for about half an hour, and the
So,
candles have been destroyed.
We've got a Super Mario cake to celebrate our 100th show, and look, we even got the blue, the green, and the pink for the Etch play and the Etch colours. You know, all the stops are going out, so let's just blow it out.
Hey!
Did you make a wish?
Yes, I wished I can't tell you.
Oh no! Come on, jinx
Otherwise,
it.
it won't come true. But I'm going to try that while Adam is talking. I'll let you know how I get on. But if anyone can guess what Adam's game is, you don't get 100 points anymore. So I
like the boyfriend dungeon. Guess
That's a great game.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's also
let's hear
not
how
correct.
Adam spent 100 hours in it.
That'd be very difficult. You'd have to play it like 10 times.
Adam, over to you.
Yeah, so as Ben has thoughtfully ruined, my pick is Puzzle Quest Challenge of the Warlords from way back in 2007. We all know how addictive and time-consuming match 3 puzzle games can be. Just ask anybody you know who's into Candy Crush or Bejeweled. And we all know how addictive RPGs can be, with their kind of rich storylines, stat management, and kind of replaying it several times over as every class to get all the different kind of endings and stuff. And Puzzle Quest brings these two compelling genres together into one extremely Moorish puzzle RPG. This particular entry is like the first major one in the series, and it's on every platform you can think of that was available in 2007. And for me, it landed during the kind of golden age of the Xbox Live Arcade, when downloadable games for the 360 kind of took over the world as the go-to place for interesting indie titles. And the way it works is that you navigate that overworld that you saw briefly there, kind of taking quests and having conversations. And then when you get into a fight, like the one that you're probably seeing now, you play a kind of match 3 puzzle game against your opponents to determine who wins that combat. So matching skulls does direct damage, matching purple stars gets you XP, matching coins gets you money, and matching the colored gems builds different kinds of mana that you can use for unleashing special abilities. And the story is kind of like standard RPG fantasy fare. It's nothing to necessarily write home about. It's good, but it's not necessarily great. And where the game really shines is in just how kind of flexible that combat system makes the game feel, kind of combined with all the classes you can play as and the special abilities. It actually becomes like an incredibly strategic and kind of rich experience. I've played the game several times over. And despite the kind of simplicity that you see on the surface, you can play it in so many different ways. Like it's hard to actually convey, but I'll try. Like the layer of complexity and intrigue that you don't usually get in a match 3 game. You're just thinking, I'll match things and get points. That's it. But when you're playing this, you could be thinking, I'm a fire wizard, so I need red gems, and I'm going to learn abilities that add more red gems when I match yellow gems. So that's good too. And then kind of set up the board to try and get 4 of a kind and combos that do more red gem based damage. Or you could be poison instead, maybe. Like one of like dozens of things you could do, and kind of playing in a way that forces your opponent to use certain colors. So you match all the other stuff, force them to match green, and then they hurt themselves when they match green. Or you could be an archer, and all you care about right now is matching coins and surviving. So then you can go into the shop and buy the best bow and arrow in the game. And then with that bow, maybe you're kind of like a bit of a glass cannon. You're actually really weak, but you just have to survive long enough to build up enough mana to kind of one-shot any enemy in the game with that incredible bow. And that variety that you have in tactics, all the things that you can do, the enemies also have and do back to you in various different ways. And I have other Puzzle Quest games as well, including like some sci-fi ones and branded partnerships with Magic the Gathering and Marvel. But a lot of them with the industry have kind of moved forwards towards kind of free-to-play models where you pay a lot to keep playing on a term basis and that kind of thing. And Challenge of the Warlords is kind of like a near-perfect game that arrived at the perfect time, like right at that moment where you could just buy games outright and enjoy everything that it was in one small downloadable thing with a fixed price. From Xbox Live, obviously, was where I got it. And I also found out while Googling for this show that there's a remaster called The Legend Returns that came out on the Switch in 2019. So I know what I'm doing later on. Going to be getting that, and that includes some of the expansions as well, which were also very good. But yeah, Puzzle Quest, Challenge of the Warlords, the unexpected pick. And I think everyone at home stopped listening to me a long time ago and just wants to know what the cake tastes like.
Sorry, did you say something, Adam?
Yeah. What is about puzzles? No, the cake is good. Yeah, as I said, you can really taste the Italian plumber in it.
When you say Italian plumber in it, do you mean like when you have a plumber and his trousers are like always
no.
down?
How does it compare to an Xbox donut?
It's not as good as the donut.
Oh no!
How does it compare to the Xbox cake?
I think it's better than the Xbox cake.
Ooh.
Although I
Console
have
wars reignited.
Platform cake wars.
Jim Ryan, where's the PlayStation cake? When are you going to enter this new field?
Get the cake and I'll eat it on the show.
I'm calling Sony out directly.
Yeah.
Microsoft's acquisition of Krispy Kreme donuts is happening as we speak.
I think my main criticism for the cake is I was worried it was going to be dry, but it's not too dry. But it definitely needs more cream and more jam. It's a little bit too light on the cream and jam, which at £12 a cake, thank you very much. I want a lot of a lot of cream and jam. Don't fill me with all that cheap flour. I might just see whether I get that one through. I don't know whether I can expense a cake celebrating the show solely for myself.
I think you can.
Adam can go round and get some.
I'm in Leeds right now.
Yeah,
never mind.
You're closer, Ty. I want to know, Ben, if it tasted like one Mario character, so it could taste like any of them, any of the bad guys or good guys from the Mario universe. Which character does it taste like? Which does it remind you of?
Yoshi.
Yeah.
You didn't have to think there.
He was so quick. He was like straight away. This tastes like a dinosaur that I'm going to throw in a pit right at the end so I get a higher jump for the flagpole.
Yeah, you thought you were going to stump me? Now this is pure Yoshi. You definitely. If I check the box also as well, which is cool, which I would have handed out if we were all together.
The cards.
It's not cards, but it came with like the thing that goes around cakes. It came with like thing with
the packaging,
and it's got stickers on it. It's got Mario on it. So we've got Bowser, Wario, Toad, Luigi, Mario, of course, Donkey Kong, Peach, Yoshi's on there, of course, because he's in the cake. But yeah, I mean, if you got this for your 100th birthday, I think you'd be happy. So I'm enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy eating the rest of this cake.
An entire cake.
I have a birthday cake to myself because I'm here by myself as well. I'm not even with anybody. So.
I don't put it past you, to be honest. I feel like you could probably eat all of that.
Can we do, in Matilda, when they forced that little boy to eat the big chocolate cake? Can we just force you to eat
We
the
are
whole
not
cake
stopping
now?
the stream until the cake is
the
gone.
The stream is live
gone.
until Ben. Yeah. You're gonna finish it.
But
go on then, Ben.
Oh, okay. If anyone wants to
do
talk,
what I said in the chat. Light the candle and eat the candle.
No one in the
These candles are so bad. I'm not going to get them relit. I mean, the zeros, it literally melted and fell off the wick. Like it's so bad, you can see like it just fell off.
Ben,
Oh wow.
as I know, Ben, that you will struggle to eat a whole cake within the time frame that is
Yeah,
reasonable for the remainder of the show, could you instead perhaps give us just take a big slice of it and just do like a real mouthful of one big piece?
I feel like that's not what people want to see at home.
I think it is what people want to see.
It absolutely is.
In the chat, who wants to see Ben try and eat one massive bit of cake in one bite
With his hand.
with his hand? Yeah, like
Do it.
wedding style.
Do it.
Do it.
Scam,
Do
you
it
can't
or
go in the
just-
chat and pretend like it's the chat saying
do
it.
it.
Okay, that's
Yeah, all our
it's just
fans
the
in the
pe-
chat are
just the
saying do it.
people.
Yeah, the crowd are going wild.
All our
Okay.
fans, yes.
All our regular viewers.
Okay, there's a big slice of cake.
Well, hold up.
It's not all going in.
Bloody hell.
Try and get it all in.
Oh
I'm not getting all that in.
Man, that's a big ass slice
Try
of
and
cake.
get it all
That
in
is
one
big.
bite. That's the...
I'm not getting all that in. Right, here we go. Someone's going to need to take over the reins of talking, otherwise we're just going to be watching me with a mouthful of
Well,
cake.
we're
No,
gonna be
I want-
Narration.
I want to
I
hear
want complete
everything.
silence while he does this.
ASMR, put the mic in your mouth.
A bit of mukbang on the
Put the mic in your
on the
mouth.
Itch Play Live show. Okay,
What?
let's see. So, what-
No, just move
I
on,
really,
just move on.
I'm regretting buying this cake now. Let's go for it.
Push it in.
Do it.
More.
Do it now.
More.
Come on.
More.
Now put the mic in your mouth so we can hear it.
That was impressive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Danzig, you said it needs more jam. Now jam it in.
Yes,
Mm.
Dan.
Wow.
There we are.
There we go. Thank you.
Strategically muted himself.
Yes.
Mm.
Thanks,
That's
Ben.
good. That was an impressive bite.
While Ben's trying to chew, let's just go around the room and everyone can say one sentence about how happy they are that it's the 100th show. And then I guess we'll probably wrap up unless there's another secret segment. There's not. He's shaking his head. He's struggling. He's choking on cake.
Do we not get to hear from Pete?
Oh yeah, Pete's game.
We established that nobody can do a ventriloquist impression of Pete unless you can, Dan. Can you do?
Yeah, Dan, you've known Pete for years.
I love Rocket League.
I mean that
Yeah, I nailed it.
was like he was in the room.
He
Yeah.
has been
Yeah,
here this
Pete.
whole time.
Pete? Where are you?
Oh,
Brilliant.
No Man's Sky, right?
yeah. Press the wrong one. There we go. There's Pete's.
There you
Pete
go.
was
I mean,
Pete was going to talk about Rocket League until we realized
Ben
he actually wasn't
could-
going to be here.
do some lines about Rocket League because Ben plays it as well.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Tell us
What
a
would
little bit
Pete
about Rocket
say?
League. Bring us home with some Rocket
What's
League.
Pete's worst trait when you play Rocket League?
He's rubbish.
Well, this week he's just been driving past the ball and completely missing it. But,
Oh God.
but yeah, Rocket League is football with cars, and the cars can fly. There you go. That's
In
the
the right
description.
hands.
Yeah, they can't fly when I'm playing it.
Not me.
I used to be terrible at it when we played it at the Move 2 office. So I
What
just
do you mean
my,
used to?
I gave up because
Before he hung up his tires.
Yeah, I passed and I retired. So I just used to demo people because I was terrible. I remember once I was doing it so much. Joe just rage quit and didn't play Rocket League for like a week because he was so mad that I just kept doing it.
I reckon I've clocked up about 13 hours of Rocket League. Adam, what would be your estimate?
You reckon you've done 13?
Yeah, what do you think you've done?
Probably more than that. Probably in like 25 region.
Okay, Tyre?
I've not played it, but I've now discovered through this
Killer.
video that you can put hats on your cars.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
interested now?
Yeah.
So that'd be
Back
100
in.
hours
I'm
next week.
interested. You can't get it on Steam though, so I can't play it on my Steam Deck.
Medi, how many hours have you clocked up?
On
Roughly.
Rocket League, I've played, I would say, not that many hours, maybe like 10, 11
No?
hours.
Okay. Ben J?
I reckon I'm probably must be between 20 and 30 because basically
Yeah,
all
okay.
of my time came at lunchtimes at Move 2 playing with like Gam and Pete and Lawrence and everyone when we were back there. So and a little bit
Okay.
more then, but yeah, I reckon I'm 20 to 30 hours probably. And not
Can we get an up-to-date tally, Benji, you and Pete?
I don't know what Pete's is. I think
I know what Ben's is.
I think
I looked
Pete
it
is
up.
definitely over 2,000,
He's
What?
about
How many
2,130
days is that?
last time I checked.
and mine is higher than that. Mine's
Yes.
2,500.
Is that just on PC because you play cross console, don't you, as well?
I have played a bit on PS4, but definitely the bulk of the time is PC. But That's since 2015, so that's 7 years worth.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes it all right.
That's fine then. Yeah. Okay.
like 85 days worth of this game.
Imagine how much you would have played if you weren't married and had a child. Like,
Oh yeah.
Exactly. You'd be at 10,000, I reckon, mate.
Well, I reckon actually back when I used to play Football Manager, I reckon I've easily done more than 2,500 hours on that.
Wow. Just putting me to shame, I guess.
I love how you and Pete basically played Rocket League and you were like, video games will never get better than this for me. and they never did.
Yeah.
So, thank you for filling in for Pete, Gam. We appreciate it. We had the video ready, so it was a shame to let that go to waste. But I guess we'll wrap up. It's been a long one today. Thank you for everyone for joining us, not just today, but over the 100 episodes, whether you've been to one episode, whether you've been to all 100. We appreciate it. We enjoy putting on the show. Whether we do 100 more remains to be seen. It'd be great if we're sat here in a couple of years doing show 200. But for now, we're going to keep the ball rolling, I think. But thank you everyone who's on the Zoom for all your contributions over the 100 episodes. It's a lot of work. A special thanks to Adam, because this was his idea to get us really going, and he has been the driving force behind this for the vast majority of the time, often picking up shows when people are struggling and coming up with ideas and really forcing us to be better, even to the point where on episode 100 he was telling me off before we started that I couldn't manage to wrangle in the green boxes around.
I mean, the cameras are bad. Let's all be honest with ourselves.
Constantly driving us to be better. So thank you, Adam.
Constructive criticism.
This is your success as much as ours, probably slightly more so because it was, it's your baby. But thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop rambling now because I'm starting to sound like a grandparent at dinner. Just saying how lovely everything is, because everything is lovely. I love you guys, and thank you, everyone. Let us know on Twitter what your 100-hour game is, and we'll see you at 4 p.m. next week right here. Bye.
More cake. Eat more cake.
Eat more cake.
More cake. More cake. More cake.
I'm going to go for more cake.